Joined now by the Israeli government spokesperson, David Mentzer. Thanks for being with us. So let's just talk about this, because there's so much wrong, so much disputed here. Why do you not allow an independent investigation into this?
Good evening, Mark. Good to be with you. Let me just start off by saying that Hamas has a long record of misusing ambulances. They don't just hijack ambulances, they actually hijack the very idea of the emergency services and also humanitarian aid. It's not the first time.
I just want to look. I accept what you're saying. Let's just concentrate, if we can, on this whole idea of an independent investigation, because your initial story has fallen apart once. It's been shown to be misleading. So I just wonder, why no independent investigation? I know the IDF are investigating, but why no independent investigation? What are you afraid of?
Israel's not afraid of anything. It's not the first time that Hamas has used ambulances to smuggle terrorists. It's a matter of public record. It's been confirmed by Hamas themselves when we've captured them, who told the world that they use ambulances to transport their own terrorists. It's been confirmed repeatedly over the years, not only by Israeli sources, but by Gaza's ambulance drivers themselves, by Gaza's hospital directors, in a statement by President Mahmoud Abbas, no less, by Egyptian news investigators, and by Hamas operatives themselves.
But in this incident,
when we've intercepted
let's just stay with this incident. What evidence do you have that there were 6 Hamas fighters in these ambulances?
So our investigation is taking place right now. It's going to be very thorough. It will be coming out very, very shortly. We have nothing to hide whatsoever, and the thorough investigation, the results of which should come out very, very shortly. But whatever happens,
can I just ask you another particular question? Do you have evidence that they identified them as Hamas before they opened fire or after they opened fire?
I will answer that question, but I must tell you, firstly, that emergency vehicles should be used to save lives. Hamas has turned them into getaway cars for killers. While our soldiers
doesn't mean you can shoot at every ambulance. I'm just trying to get to the heart of this question. You said you'd answer it. Were they identified as Hamas, these 6 Hamas you've identified? Were they identified before these troops opened fire or after?
So that's why Hamas themselves use ambulances to hide their identity.
Right.
While
So
our
it was
soldiers,
after. So it was after.
No, while our soldiers stake out Hamas terror squads, Hamas hides behind civilians and then cries foul when terrorists are targeted. Let me be clear. This incident happened.
Just let's be clear on this one.
Zone
just let's just be clear on this question. Were they identified before? Were they identified before or after?
Among those killed were 6 Hamas terrorists. That is not speculation. It is confirmation. The IDF is investigating the incident in Rafah thoroughly, transparently, and in real time. Hamas, on the other hand, investigates nothing, admits nothing, and abuses everything. No army in the world does more to avoid civilian casualties than the IDF. And
Some other questions. Why did they
more than Hamas?
Why did they hide I mean, there are so many questions here. Why did they hide the bodies? Why did they try to hide the ambulances? These are all questions, by the way, that many international organisations, it's not Hamas I'm echoing here, it's the UN Secretary General, it's the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, the head of the UN Humanitarian Affairs Office, Tom Fletcher, it's the Red Cross, numerous governments, all saying it's unacceptable, all calling for an independent inquiry. So why not?
Mark, Israel doesn't fear the truth. That's why we are investigating this incident extremely thoroughly. Can Hamas say the same? Hamas violates every principle of international law. They hide in hospitals, in mosques, in schools, and then they blame us when war crimes blow up in their own faces. So I can tell you again that the IDF soldiers opened fire from a distance at vehicles that were moving suspiciously in their direction. Among the dead were 6 Hamas terrorists, Mark. What were Hamas terrorists doing in an ambulance convoy?
So they were identified as Hamas terrorists after the event. Another question I have.
Well, let me answer that question, because that will be dealt with in the results of the investigation, which will be out shortly. This incident was reported in real time to UN officials. The IDF is conducting that investigation into the circumstances of this incident, which took place a couple of weeks ago. But unfortunately, the Hamas terror organization systematically violates international law. They started this war by taking over civilian facilities and infrastructure, including hospitals, schools and mosques.
Right, you've made that point.
And they are cruelly exploiting and placing their own civilian population
just one
at
other,
risk.
I'm just trying to get through these questions. One other specific question on this incident. The claim is that it was in a combat zone. The Israelis claim it was in a combat zone, when our own data investigation shows that that was not the case. Can you just clear that one up?
So there's nothing I'm going to say that is going to prejudice this investigation. The results will come out shortly. It's a thorough investigation by the IDF.
But it's the military investigating the military, isn't it?
No, it's the
does that
independent
really wash
arm.
with?
It's the same that Britain would do if they were investigating something which the British armed forces were accused of doing. We are fighting in a complex war zone. Hamas hide amongst civilians. They hide amongst ambulances. This is not my words. These are the words of Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian leader themselves.
Isn't there a pattern here that your government does not welcome outside scrutiny, hence no independent investigation?
The pattern here is Hamas, which started this war, which won't release our hostages, which won't surrender, which are continuing to subject their own people to act as human shields. We, on the other hand, Israel, are trying our hardest to move civilians out of harm's way in an extremely complex war zone being run by jihadis.
My question was about scrutiny. Let's just have a look. 2 UK MPs travelling to witness firsthand the situation in the West Bank refused permission to enter Israel. Journalists who want to go into Gaza to report the situation there refused permission into Gaza. Israel does not want to be scrutinised.